Counting up on the alum at the Federal Correctional Institution Seagoville in Dallas, Texas, Josh Duggar is still serving his sentence of 12.5 years in jail. Regarding the activities that the oldest Duggar child has been engaged in while incarcerated, numerous claims have surfaced. According to some, he is enjoying the best life possible because he is being pampered like a rock star. According to recent reports, Josh may now be facing difficulties while incarcerated, according to news sources. Continue reading to find out why. Are you counting on Josh Duggar to have a happy life while he is behind bars? There were a number of sources that had previously appeared that said Josh is enjoying a more favorable life behind bars. An informant claims that the former cast member of Counting On is being treated like a VIP while incarcerated, and that he has even been transferred to a dormitory that provides him with special privileges such as appliances. Additionally, Josh was seen strolling about the prison grounds while wearing sneakers and sunglasses, which was deemed to be a luxury piece of attire. He has also been in problems after he was discovered to be in possession of a phone that was illegal, which resulted in an increase in his sentence to a couple of months. Despite this, a number of sources have stated that he continues to be treated differently and that he supposedly signed newspapers of himself when he was arrested for CSAM on the charges. A more severe prison sentence is available for Josh. Following the new incident involving contraband, Josh Duggar and his cell are reportedly facing tougher punishments than they were previously subjected to. It had been reported in the past that the prison had curtailed the inmates' recreational time as a kind of punishment for what was believed to be illegal substances. It is unknown whether the former cast member of Counting On participated in the hunger strike that was carried out by some of the inmates as a result of this. As a consequence of this, the authorities made modifications to the way they disciplined the prisoners. The classes have been canceled, and the inmates are being required to remain in their cells for longer periods of time, according to the sources. Additionally, it was made clear that there was no lockdown in place. The operations, however, had to be altered because of the facility renovations and the repairs that were made to some of the utility systems. Counting On, the prison cell that Josh Duggar is stuck in is still dealing with problems. This was not the first time that Josh's prison cell had to deal with problems that were related to illegal substances. It has been claimed that the former member of Counting On had his cell phone shaken down in December of last year, following several reports of unlawful actions, including the use of contraband phones. Other sources claimed that the dormitory had privileged access to the internet, which caused a great deal of concern among the residents. In the event that Pest was the culprit, it would not come as a major surprise. To put it simply, he believes that the rules do not apply to him. That's good, to tell you the truth. If he continues to have his sentence extended, then he will be away from all of the Douglets for a longer period of time. Pest is only in an honors dorm because of the fact that he is a star, in my opinion, which, to tell you the truth, sounds almost exactly like corruption to me. There has been no word from Anna Duggar, Josh Duggar's wife, regarding her husband's incarceration. On the other hand, she has been seen in public on multiple occasions, and some individuals believe that her body language suggests that she is struggling with depression, particularly when she has gained some weight. If you are looking for additional information regarding the Duggar family, you should return to Bombshell 25 for all of your updates. The fall of Josh Duggar. Josh Duggar, once a beloved reality TV star, came to symbolize conservative family values and the idea of an ideal Christian lifestyle. He was a central figure on the TLC show 19 Kids and Counting, which chronicled the life of the Duggar family, a large, devout Christian household based in Arkansas. The Duggar family became iconic for their strict adherence to traditional values, including homeschooling, abstinence before marriage, and the belief in large families. Josh, as the eldest son of Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, was often presented as the picture-perfect model of a devout husband, father, and Christian man. However, behind the public image of the wholesome Duggar family, a darker truth was lurking. Josh Duggar's rise to fame in the public eye was marred by a series of disturbing revelations that would ultimately lead to his downfall. His life, once filled with the adoration of millions of fans, would be forever tainted by allegations of sexual abuse, criminal charges, and a lengthy prison sentence. In 2015, Duggar was publicly accused of molesting several young girls, including his sisters, during his adolescence. Although the scandal initially rocked the Duggar family and led to the cancellation of 19 Kids and Counting, it seemed that Duggar might still have a chance at redemption. However, in 2021, Duggar's legal troubles took a more serious turn. He was arrested on charges of receiving and possessing child sexual abuse material, CSAM, a crime that led to his conviction and a federal prison sentence. Now, with his future uncertain, questions abound about whether Duggar will face harsher punishment while serving his prison term. This article delves into the nature of Josh Duggar's crimes, the legal proceedings that led to his conviction, and the potential for harsher punishment in the prison system. It also examines the broader implications of Duggar's case, both for him personally and for the criminal justice system as a whole. The nature of Josh Duggar's crimes. A disturbing pattern of abuse. Josh Duggar's criminal history is both complicated and troubling. The first public scandal that surrounded Duggar was the revelation in 2015 that he had molested 5 young girls when he was a teenager. This led to a public apology and his resignation from his position as a lobbyist for the Family Research Council, a conservative Christian advocacy group. Though the molestation allegations were shocking, Duggar's family and supporters downplayed the severity of the actions, claiming that Duggar was a young man who had repented and sought forgiveness. Many believe that the situation had been dealt with privately, with the family maintaining that they had handled the issue internally according to their religious beliefs. However, the most disturbing chapter of Duggar's legal woes began in 2019, when he was arrested on charges related to child sexual abuse material. According to investigators, Duggar had used his work computer to download and access images and videos that depicted the sexual abuse of children. The investigation, led by Homeland Security, found evidence of this material on Duggar's computer, which led to his arrest in April 2021. Federal agents identified the content as some of the most disturbing and explicit child exploitation material they had encountered. The discovery of the CSAM was the catalyst for Duggar's arrest and set the stage for his eventual conviction. During the trial, the prosecution presented evidence that Duggar had knowingly and willingly downloaded this illegal material. The defense, on the other hand, tried to argue that Duggar had not been the one to download the material and that the computer had been compromised. Despite these claims, Duggar was found guilty of both receiving and possessing child sexual abuse material, and he was sentenced to 12.5 years in federal prison in December 2021. The impact of Duggar's crimes extends far beyond his own legal troubles. The victims of child sexual abuse, particularly those whose images were involved in the CSAM Duggar accessed, are left to deal with the psychological and emotional trauma caused by such exploitation. Additionally, Duggar's actions have shaken the public's faith in the Duggar family, once regarded as an epitome of Christian morality. Duggar's case underscores the serious nature of child sexual exploitation and the devastating effects of these crimes on victims and society at large. The legal process, sentencing, and the possibility of harsher punishment. Josh Duggar's legal journey culminated in his conviction and sentencing, but the broader issue at hand remains the nature of his punishment. After his arrest in 2021, Duggar was indicted on 2 counts of possessing and receiving child sexual abuse material. His defense team attempted to challenge the charges, but the evidence against him was overwhelming. The prosecution argued that Duggar's actions were not only illegal but were also indicative of a deep-seated pattern of predatory behavior. On December 9, 2021, Duggar was sentenced to 12.5 years in federal prison. Given the gravity of his offenses, this sentence was relatively harsh compared to similar cases. However, it did not satisfy many members of the public and victim advocacy groups, who felt that Duggar's actions warranted a much longer prison term. The sentence also raised questions about how the criminal justice system handles high-profile offenders like Duggar, individuals who, because of their fame, might receive special treatment or different conditions than an average offender. Duggar's legal team immediately appealed the conviction, challenging the validity of the charges and the fairness of the trial. They argued that the evidence presented against him was circumstantial and that Duggar's constitutional rights had been violated in some respects. However, the appeal was unsuccessful, and Duggar was required to serve his time in federal custody. While Duggar is currently serving his sentence at FCI Seagoville, a low-security federal prison in Texas, questions remain about whether he will face harsher punishment in prison. High-profile offenders, especially those convicted of crimes involving children, are often subjected to a higher degree of scrutiny and danger in prison settings. There are several factors that could lead to Duggar facing harsher punishment during his incarceration. Prison life for high-profile offenders. The risks Duggar faces. Prison is a harsh environment for any inmate, but for high-profile offenders like Josh Duggar, the stakes are higher. Celebrities and public figures who are convicted of serious crimes often face significant challenges in the prison system. In Duggar's case, his crime, child sexual abuse material possession, is one that can provoke particularly violent reactions from other inmates, making it difficult for him to blend in or gain any sympathy among his fellow prisoners. One of the most immediate risks Duggar faces is the threat of violence. Child molesters and individuals convicted of crimes against children are often considered some of the lowest on the prison hierarchy, and other inmates may target them for abuse. Inmates with a history of sexual violence, including crimes similar to Duggar's, are often shunned by other prisoners, and in some cases, they may even become victims of prison violence. This could lead to Duggar spending long periods in solitary confinement, a measure often used to protect high-profile offenders from harm. Another concern for Duggar is the length of his sentence. At 12.5 years, Duggar's sentence is significant, but it is also not an extraordinary length compared to sentences given to other offenders. However, the public nature of his case and the ongoing media coverage surrounding his trial mean that his every move in prison will be watched. Prison officials may be more likely to move Duggar to a higher security facility or subject him to harsher punishment if he exhibits any behavior that could jeopardize the stability of the prison system. The possibility of his sentence being extended or modified based on his behavior behind bars remains a significant factor. Finally, Duggar's time in prison may be marked by increased scrutiny from the media. As the public follows his every move, there may be greater pressure on prison officials to ensure that Duggar serves out his sentence without any special treatment. His status as a former celebrity could put him under constant surveillance, making it difficult for him to find any semblance of normalcy or privacy while incarcerated. The broader impact of Duggar's case. Josh Duggar's case has reverberated far beyond the confines of the courtroom and the prison system. For many, his conviction and sentencing represent a larger reckoning with issues of sexual abuse, power, and privilege. Duggar's fame, as well as his ties to conservative Christianity, have led many to question the ways in which public figures are held accountable for their actions. The Duggar family, once seen as a model of conservative values, has faced widespread condemnation in the wake of Josh's criminal behavior. His wife, Anna Duggar, has stood by him throughout the legal proceedings, which has led to further public scrutiny of the family. The emotional toll on Duggar's family, particularly on Anna, who is now raising their children while her husband serves time, is profound. It is also worth noting that Duggar's actions have hurt the larger community of individuals who look up to the Duggar family as role models, especially those who have been involved in the family's religious and political networks. For the victims of Duggar's crimes, the ongoing media coverage of his case may provide some level of closure, but it also highlights the difficulties they face in reclaiming their lives after such trauma. Duggar's conviction and imprisonment represent a small measure of justice for those whose images were exploited, but it does not undo the harm done. The broader societal conversation about the treatment of child sexual abuse material offenders and the criminal justice system's handling of such crimes is likely to continue, particularly in light of Duggar's high-profile case. What the future holds for Josh Duggar. As Josh Duggar serves his sentence, the question of whether he will face harsher punishment remains uncertain. His status as a high-profile offender, the nature of his crimes, and the media scrutiny surrounding his case all contribute to the complexity of his time in prison. Duggar is likely to face significant challenges while incarcerated, including the risk of violence from other inmates and the constant scrutiny of prison officials. His situation also raises larger questions about the criminal justice system and the treatment of high-profile offenders, particularly those who have committed heinous crimes against children. In the end, Duggar's case serves as a stark reminder of the complexities of justice, redemption, and accountability. While his punishment is severe, it may not be enough to bring full closure to the victims or to restore the faith of those who once admired him. The repercussions of his actions will continue to reverberate long after his prison sentence has ended, as society grapples with the difficult question of how to handle high-profile offenders who have betrayed the trust of their fans, their families, and society as a whole.